You too can see the sides looking like you're swigging neat gin. I'm going on holiday, or vacation as my Canadian and American friends would say, and you're coming with me. My upcoming trip seemed like the perfect excuse to talk about staying healthy while travelling. So I'm filming this vlog style in real time, and I'll take you through each of the stages, from why is it even worth bothering, isn't a holiday supposed to be a break, to my planning and packing, the day of travel and what I do when I'm there. I don't have a neat numerical list of tips yet, but I'll talk you through everything I've learned from the perspective of a health coach, a nutrition student, and a woman in her 50s who's had to rethink how she travels so it doesn't leave her wrecked. If we've not met, hi, I'm Ruth. I make content about healthy habits for over 50s women. And if you're returning, then thank you. It means the world to me. And as ever, health and nutrition are personal. This is just what I do. So let's get going. Now, before we get onto the packing, my first stage is research. And this is because it's good for my mental health. Now, as I'm older, my memory isn't so good. Thank you, menopause, brain fog. And it just reduces friction and stress if I can do a little bit of forward planning. So firstly, I like to make a proper packing list. Yes, you can be techie and make a spreadsheet. I like to write it in my journal. And secondly, I like to research my destination. So in this case, Dubrovnik in Croatia. I like to have a little think about where I'm going and what we might want to do when we're there. So I do like to book my trips in advance just in case it's busy and they sell out. And yes, I obviously keep all the receipts on my phone, but I am really old-fashioned and I like to print them all off and put them in a little sort of envelope thing as well. Now, moving on to packing, again, to reduce friction and stress, I like to keep all of my travel gear in one place. So it lives in this big cabin bag in the corner of our bedroom. And it just means that everything is where it's supposed to be and I'm not rushing around in the busy days before going away. Now, when it comes to packing, I find it helpful to think in terms of systems rather than just items. Again, I'm less likely to forget things. So firstly, sleep. What do you need for a good night's sleep? Well, it needs to be quiet. So I tend to take some wax or silicone earplugs with me. They're already packed. And it needs to be dark. So I like to take a sleep mask as well. Now mine, again, already packed, is made of silicone. It's a little bit easier when you have to wear dry eye ointment at night. It's less messy. And I take that everywhere with me and it stops my eyes drying out in hotel air conditioning as well. And on that same vein, because air conditioning does dry the air, I always carry with me a little mini travel humidifier, which again, if you've got dry eye disease, this can just sit on the bedside table and it just helps keep the air moist overnight. Other things you can do that might remind you of home, take your lavender pillow spray with you, take your journal or diary, things that just help improve that sleep environment. Now, moving on to digestion and hydration. Obviously, it's really important to stay well hydrated in a hot country. So I always take a reusable water bottle. This one is very light, made of metal, takes about 500 mils of water. I'll put on the screen what that is in ounces, I'm not sure. I also like this one. It doesn't keep the water quite as cold because it's made of plastic, but it is very, very thin, so it slides into your bag and it's very easy to store. It also looks a little bit like a hip flask, so you too can see the sides looking like you're swigging neat gin. So food. Yes, I am one of those people who takes food with me on holiday. My friends think I'm crazy, but there we go. I always carry my emergency granola. You can often get a decent hotel breakfast, but sometimes the cereal section leaves a little bit to be desired, lots of added sugar, so I tend to take a low sugar granola with me just in case. I'm also a fan of a snack bar, so I have these. These are peanut butter protein bars by a UK company called Naked, but no E, Knackered? Knackered? Who knows? So they've only got dates and nuts in them, so no added sugar. And I like to carry those with me just because then if I get caught short, that doesn't sound right. If I get caught hungry, I get hangry, and I don't want to be hangry when I'm out and about. So I like to have a little emergency snack in my bag. They're not chocolate, they don't melt. They're reasonably healthy, and it'll just sort of tide me over till tea time. And lastly, movement. So again, I like to do lots of walking when I'm on holiday, so I always take comfortable shoes. Now, if you in your 50s, you're still seeing the sights in heels, absolutely flipping fantastic, you do you. I'm all about the flats, so I love Birkenstocks, so I always take my handy Birkenstocks and I travel in a pair of sneakers, which brings me on to gym kit, yay or nay. So I do like to, as I say, travel in sneakers. I've got them with me if I want to use the gym, and then it doesn't take up a lot of space to just throw in a pair of light leggings, a sports bra and a tank top. That way, if there is a decent hotel gym and I'm feeling the love, I've got the option of going. But equally, I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't, because other stuff comes up. It's just there if I need it. Other options, I sometimes take with me a resistance band. Again, don't always use it, but it weighs nothing and it takes up no space. So now I'm going to finish doing my packing. What time is it? Well, I'll tell you, too flipping early, that's what time. So in reality, 3:30. So we're going to the airport in an hour. So I'm sitting here with wet hair, eating my breakfast. I'm about to do my eyes for the day, my dry eye routine. I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about day of travel. So obviously if you're eating, even if you don't feel like it, most short haul flights in Europe don't serve food. Have a good breakfast. So I have some fruit, some low sugar granola, some Greek yogurt and some peanut butter. That will hopefully keep me going a little while. I always take some snacks on the plane anyway, because the stuff they serve is really unpleasant. Yes, it's a protein bar. Yes, it's UPF, but hey, it's probably better than anything I'll get on the flight. So I've got that for later. My last 2 tips for day of travel to reduce stress and make my poor overworked middle-aged brain have a bit of an easier time. Put all of your tech in a pouch, so everything is in one place. All your adapters, plugs and cables. I've also got a power pack in there because my mobile doesn't last very long. And then obviously always put your liquids into the plastic bag before you go as well, so you're not faffing around in the security line. So just remember, if you have liquid medication as well, which includes obviously HRT gel if you use it, I use patches, then you're allowed a separate bag for liquids. So that is full of eye drops. That's my medication bag, and then I've got my regular liquids bag as well. I will see you on the other side. So welcome to my Dubrovnik hotel room, and I thought this would be the perfect place to continue my discussion of staying healthy on holiday. And the first question is why? Why bother? Isn't a holiday supposed to be somewhere where you go to relax and a break from normal routine? And who wants to be the boring person sitting in the corner eating salad when everyone else is on the beers and the burgers? And I think it comes down to identity. So we know from behavioural science that if you tie a goal to your identity and how you view yourself, then you're more likely to do it. And I think the same holds true for health. So if you see health as a chore, something to be endured, then you're potentially going to end up resenting it and this feeling of guilt if you're not being good. Whereas for me, I view being a healthy person as part of who I am. So why would I want to do anything different when I'm away? For me, it's just part of my normal daily routine, and I like to continue that routine wherever I am. Now, that doesn't mean living a pious life. This is day 6 of our 7-day holiday, and I've had gelato twice and it was glorious. But on the whole, I've stuck to my usual eating routine, which is to prioritise lean protein, fibre-containing whole grains and vegetables, and a little bit of healthy fat. And I eat well, as I do at home, about 80% of the time, 90% perhaps, with the other 10 to 20% reserved for the things I enjoy. So in terms of what I've been eating, you saw me pack my healthy protein bars. I have in the past taken protein powder with me. It makes quite a decent lunch if you mix it with some milk. I didn't on this occasion, mainly because I just didn't get organised to buy some in a small packet. What I did bring with me as well, which I didn't show you when packing, is a pack of nuts. Now, I didn't eat those on the plane on the day of travel because every so often there's someone who's nut allergic on the plane and they don't like you eating them. So they lived in my bag and they've made a really good snack by the pool. The other thing we tend to do when we go somewhere away is try and find a supermarket or a market, somewhere where we can buy some fruit. And on this occasion, we found a really nice market in Dubrovnik, and there's also been fruit available at the morning breakfast buffet. And yeah, I'm not too proud to admit a couple of apples have slid into my bag for later. Now, in the mornings, I've been setting myself up for the day by having a lot of protein in my breakfast. So I've typically been having an omelette, followed by some fruit with some natural yogurt, and I've been putting a bit of my no sugar granola that I brought with me on that, just because I prefer it to what's available in the hotel. What is really good about this hotel, they've got lots of seeds available at breakfast, so I've been able to sprinkle some additional seeds on my morning yogurt as well. Now, on this occasion, we've eaten in the hotel in the evening. We've gone half board just because it worked out a lot cheaper. And the hotel buffet's been really good. There's been lots of vegetables available and lots of lean protein, i.e. chicken and fish. So that's largely what I've been eating, which is similar to what I eat at home. And it's been really good. It's been really nice food. And again, as I alluded to in the packing part of this video, hydration is really important, particularly in the heat. So I have got some hydration tablets with me as well, with some electrolytes in. I've been using those in water as well as drinking plain water. Just with those, it's important to check what's in them. Some contain sugar, these don't, obviously, because if they're designed for distance running and people wanting to get some sugary calories in. And I've been using my refillable water bottle, and the water fountains in the centre of Dubrovnik are perfectly good. They're very, very nice drinking water as they come from a spring up in the hills. So in terms of things specific for midlife women, one of the things I ought to discuss is alcohol. Certainly when I went away, when I went on holiday when I was younger, going out and partying all night was part of the experience. Those days are long gone. I have been having a glass of wine with my dinner most evenings, but that's generally it. I don't like how I sleep when I've drunk alcohol. It also makes me more likely to get hot flushes at night, and I tend to feel a bit groggy headed in the morning, and I don't like that. I like being able to get up and enjoy my day. So I haven't drunk a large amount of alcohol while I've been here, although obviously with a glass a day, that's a lot more than I normally drink at home. But again, it's keeping hydrated. So for every glass of wine, having a glass of water as well. So I'm not going to bed and waking up with a dehydrated headache. And I also sleep a lot better when I don't have alcohol, and certainly going away is a great opportunity to get some real quality sleep, and I've slept very well on this trip. So one of the other things with being a midlife woman is keeping cool in the heat of the day. Certainly the Mediterranean sun is very strong. I am very pale. I will burn probably in about 10 to 15 minutes in this without wearing something like Factor 50 sun cream, which I don't generally like because it's sticky and a bit like, painting yourself in emulsion paint. So my favourite technique is to cover up with clothing. I tend to wear a high neck or a collar. I tend to cover my upper arms to the elbows because I know from experience the bits of me that burn the quickest are my chest, back and shoulders. So I will cover up, and it's wearing loose clothing of natural fibres, so cotton and linen specifically, silk if you're feeling fancy. And that just helps protect me from the sun and keep me cool as well, nothing too restrictive. Something that a lot of midlife women find useful is those little handheld fans. They're not so good for me because I don't like breezes on the eyes, so I don't bother. And a hat, so a wide hat that keeps the sun off your face and the back of your neck. I need to wear sunglasses when I go out as well because I am light sensitive and find the bright sunlight here particularly will make my eyes hurt if I'm not wearing my sunglasses. So that's one of my techniques for keeping cool. The other important thing to say in the heat is make sure you bring enough HRT patches with you if you use it. I do, because I find they don't stay stuck quite as well as at home. So I have been having to change them a little bit more regularly. So bring a little stash with you. And again, if you are on estrogen gel, making sure you pack enough, bearing in mind it's a liquid, so subject to the liquid rules. And lastly, exercise. So I do get a little bit stir crazy if I lie by a pool all day. Again, haven't got the skin for it and I get very bored. I like my holidays to consist of some exploring, seeing places, and the best way to do that is on foot, get out and do some walking. And Dubrovnik Old Town is entirely walking because there's no cars allowed. It is busy, however, but we have managed to find a few quieter streets here and there. And we've walked around the city walls as well. That was very enjoyable. Again, very busy. But we have done a lot of exploring on foot, both in the old town and when we've gone a little further afield. We're staying in a rather nice peninsula on the outskirts of Dubrovnik. It's quite peaceful here, a little oasis of calm as I've described it. We've done a little bit of walking here too. Obviously swimming is an option for a lot of people. There's two beautiful hotel pools here. I'm a bit funny with swimming because I don't want chlorine going in the eyes, so I tend to, if I do anything, sort of just bob about a bit. But my husband's been doing a lot of swimming. He's been swimming in the sea as well. So we've been moving our bodies and feeling active and making our bodies feel good. I've managed to go to the hotel gym twice, which again, through choice, not necessity. I've enjoyed it. It was a decent gym and it felt good to keep up with my normal regime. My husband's been most mornings, but that's because he wakes up at 6 o'clock and I tend to sleep a little longer. So he's been getting out of the hotel room and going to the gym while I've been asleep, so not to wake me up. Jolly nice of him. So between my trips to the gym, doing at least 10,000 steps a day, I feel good. I've been moving my body. I'm not coming home feeling sluggish and tired.
So I'm back home and I've had a brilliant holiday. Having reviewed my footage, I've given you 28 tips for how to stay healthy on the go. And to give you a little more, I've put together a packing list and you can download that as a PDF using the link below. And while you're there, if you want to sign up to my weekly newsletter, tick the box. That way you'll get some deeper insights beyond my weekly video, winging its way to your inbox every Friday morning. And as I've talked about food a lot in this video, I'll leave another one here about creating satisfying meals and I'll see you there.